Kidding me? Are you kidding me? Don't get us started down here. We got a whole meeting. I know. Sarah's standing up.
The regular meeting for February 4th, so it'll come to order. Yeah, and we'll stand for the pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence to observe military past and present.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll do a roll call again.
Eric.
Here.
John.
Here.
Stan.
Here.
Rachel. Here. Shelley. Here. Gary.
Here. Well, maybe that's where you want to believe. Okay, we'll, approval of the minutes from regular board meeting January 7th, pages 4 through 5.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes from January 17th.
I'll support that.
Any questions on the minutes? All in favor of the approval of the minutes from January 7th, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.
No.
All ayes except for Eric. Okay, do we have any additions to the agenda?
Mr. Supervisor, if I can jump in at this point, I've never done this before, but I've said it to some of you and I've said it to members of the audience, so anyway, in your January meeting, I left, and as I was driving home, I was kind of kicking myself for not saying something publicly about that meeting and how it was conducted. I haven't been to many of your meetings, but the large majority I've been to have been, in my opinion, train wrecks. And I have told members of this body, members of the audience, that I was embarrassed at some of those previous meetings. And at that last meeting, I saw people stand up and express their opinions and sit down, and it was a professional, orderly business meeting. I didn't say anything, as I said, and then I was kicking myself on the way home. And I thought, well, it's a good thing I did, because really, there was nothing controversial at that last meeting. So it's easy to have a professional, orderly meeting when there's nothing controversial. I feel compelled to talk now because we just sat through a very controversial, divisive topic. And I still saw a professional, orderly, business-like meeting. I respect the fact that there were very strong opinions on both sides of this issue, but I didn't see catcalling taking place, one side or the other. I didn't hear board members react to members of the audience and vice versa. I attend a lot of meetings, and 4 different counties. And that's the way I'm telling you, they're run. So to the extent, you know, anyone on this board or in the audience thought that those meetings that went long, where you had, you know, let's go outside and settle this, you know, those sorts of things. If anyone thought that was a normal meeting, you are mistaken. So I want to congratulate members of this board. You're my client, but I've told members of the audience during the break here that they deserve credit as well, because it's a two-way street. So I just think that needs to be said, and I hope it continues.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Public comments for 3 minutes each on agenda items only.
Eugene Mansell, Lewis Road. Are we able to comment to the lawyer on what he just spoke about? Is that considered under today's meeting?
Yes.
Thank you. I agree with you on the last few meetings have been a lot better than the ones that we used to have. But again, and I brought this up at the last meeting, the only one looking at me are these two. And I'm up here speaking. Well, you're looking at me because I'm talking to you. But I feel that sometimes when we're up here, and I've talked to a couple of the other members that, you know, we're writing stuff down, you know, we're paying attention, we're listening, we don't listen with our eyes or whatever. But I do believe that a person up here, to make themselves feel a little better, at least glance up every once in a while and acknowledge that they're here. And another thing, and Stan, I'm not picking on you, man, we just had a nice little conversation up here. But when one of the gentlemen was up here speaking and he got a little hot under the collar of what was going on, Stan was laying back in his chair with a big old smile on his face and laughing. Okay, so it goes both ways on how we get treated. If we start feeling we're getting treated unprofessionally, we're gonna start reacting. And I've been known to react, but I just think after you're writing stuff down, just kind of look up, acknowledge the person that you are paying attention to them, and just like right now, you're too comfortable. Okay, all these people are sitting up in their chairs. You're laying back like you're home watching the football game. Okay, that's just my opinion. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, again, I'm breaking my own rule, right, which is don't engage. But again, you have heard this. All of you have heard this from me. The audience hasn't. But given the tenor of the past meetings, I have told you, as I tell all of my clients, until we get a handle on things, as members of the audience are talking, if you engage, if you look, if you respond, that invites dialogue. And in very contentious meetings, that invites more than dialogue. So I have told you, you know what, if members are talking, look down, write what you're talking about, but try not to engage. And so I'm to blame for that. To the extent you're not making eye contact, that's only until these meetings get under control, quite honestly. I've also told all of you, and it's hard to follow, but as you're giving your board comments, they're board comments. They should be directed to the board. What happens naturally is if one of you is making a board comment and you're looking at someone specifically, whether you intend it or not, that person takes it personally. You're directing it at them, which tends to prompt them to respond directly to you. And so the advice that I've given is, again, until we get these meetings under control, direct all the comments to the chair. Look at the chair, look at your board members, and I'm not telling you that to be disrespectful to the audience, but it's the only way to get these meetings under control. So to the extent Mr. Mansell pointed that out, again, I'll accept responsibility for that.
Thank you, Mark.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
I just want to add thank you to Attorney Gilner for the education you have given us and the advice. I appreciate Eugene and your comments up there. And when you said that the last time, I thought hard about what you said.
Eric, first of all, you're out of order.
call.
Number two, you're looking at the person, which is breaking that rule. All comments should be directed to and through the chair, and I don't mean any disrespect,
You're right.
but that's how meetings go till 1 o'clock.
Gotcha. Understand. Thank you.
Richard Russell, Lake Road. I was gonna hold this until the second opportunity to speak, but being so, Eugene was given the green light to speak to the attorney. You're right. December's meeting, January's meeting went fine. Now, I counted 2 times in December. You corrected them on parliamentary procedure 4 times in January. The last 2.5 years that I've been coming to these meetings and trying to get some of this stuff taken care of, I've had the gavel dropped on me, I've been called out of order, I've been threatened to be removed. At one point in time, the statement was made, Mr. Russell, you don't know what you think you know. Really. At one meeting, at the closing comments, they thanked everybody for being here except Mr. Russell. What Eugene Munsell's talking about is just simply respect. I appreciate what you're saying to them. As long as you're here, they're gonna follow. I'm surprised you didn't get the gavel dropped on you.
Thank you. Anyone else? We will move on to supervisor's report. We're getting about 8,000 more for the matching funds for the roads this year, and hope to put in the budget to spend that to do more roads than, a little bit more than we did last year. Other than that, Samsung is, came to the township, asking what our zoning is for, solar farms. They're looking into doing a couple square miles of solar farm in Thetford Township, what would be beneficial for all the residents of Thetford, I believe. We'll be coming up with, planning commission meetings or, plans from Samsung. I don't believe we have a treasurer's report tonight, so we'll move to the clerk's report.
In the clerk's office, we're working on the funds balance program. Our program is a little outdated. There hasn't been any updates to it. So the auditors have been working with us as far as getting us balanced up to December, I believe. He will be back on February 10th, so hopefully we can get everything at even balance before we implement the new budget. And we're working on the upcoming election for March. That's about it on the first. Yep, we do have the ballots here. They just, we just received them Thursday, so we have to do some testing, and then we should be able to get the ballots out the first of next week.
Thank you, Nicole. Approval of the bills.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
I'll second that. Any questions on the bills?
Yeah, Nicole,
Yeah.
excuse me, can you, give me the check numbers of those?
So the reason the check numbers aren't on there is because we haven't cut the checks yet. So,
We used to get a check register.
which that's coming, it's just that because things aren't quite balanced. So we haven't been cutting the checks until the board's been actually approving them. And then, but after we get that system up to where it needs to be, then I can go ahead and do the check numbers. and
Do a
change
check
them.
register. Okay, and I don't know if it'd be a problem to do those monthly, so when you were to cut these, just put them in our next board packet.
Yep, I
possibly,
can.
So that they're able to see them.
Yep.
Thank you, Rachel. Anyone else?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, what is the Simon and Figura Parker, $3,627? What's that for?
Mr. Gilbert's firm.
Okay, just check.
Jen,
Yes.
Stan,
Yes.
Rachel,
No.
Gary,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay, committee department reports. Did you have anything from the fire authority, John?
I wasn't at that meeting, but just, there's a couple of facts that I took out of this, that just might be interesting to our residents out of the annual report, that our annual budget for the 2021 year is $583,742. And in 2019, they went through 246 runs. So just kind of an idea of what we spend versus what you get, so. But, and if anybody wants to see any more, this report shows who pays what and what we pay for truck repair. It's pretty extensive, so if anybody wants to see more about the fire department, you're welcome to look at these.
Thank you, John. Did you have something from library or Parks and Rec? Julie?
No report for the library, because I was unavailable for that meeting. We do have a meeting next Wednesday at 5:30 though. And Park and Rec, there's no board meeting, or we didn't have one for January, and we won't have one for February. There will be one in March.
Okay.
Do you know when the one is in March?
The second Thursday? Whatever that, I think it's the 12th.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you have something tonight, Shannon?
I do.
Okay.
This is a quarterly report starting October 1st through December 31st. Administration costs $19,124.61. Programming total $971.41. And the operations $3,473.19. At the beginning of our fiscal year, we start counting our seniors over, and that is called our unduplicated count. So we count them one time throughout that year period. So as of December 31st, we had 338 unduplicated seniors. And then 5,060 duplicated. So when I say duplicated, I mean we count them every time they come in. So not bad for 3 months. We have a few classes coming up. We have a cooking class starting. It's a 6-week cooking class. We have the Matter of Balance class, which is an award-winning class taught by the Valley Area Agency on Aging. And then we have an arthritis exercise class. Those are all coming up in March. They're 8-week classes, so they will run through May. We will be starting our income tax service this Thursday. We have 3 volunteers that will be doing appointments on Thursdays only. And we are full, we have a waiting list. And the Senior Winter Games started yesterday, we kicked off for that. That is all 15 senior centers have events throughout the month of February, and we have ours coming up Friday. And I think they said there were 560 seniors that registered throughout the county, and we have about 100 of them coming here Friday for the 2 events that we have. So we're moving along good, doing good. Any questions?
I got one. Sure. If I may ask. What events do you have Friday?
We have Yahtzee and then hand foot.
What's hand and foot?
It's a card game, kind of like canasta.
Okay, just curious.
But if you guys ever want to show up and volunteer for an event, I'll put you away.
Thank you, Shannon. Okay, unfinished business. Purchase safe for a fireproof safe for filing cabinet and filing cabinet for the clerk's office.
I'll make the motion to purchase a safe for the fireproof filing cabinet for the clerk's office.
Okay, I'll
Purchase a
second
safe
that.
and fire filing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was going to ask the clerk if she had anything in mind, and
Well,
What kind of price?
So I went through and I pulled some stuff today, and, the safes range from roughly, what it is a document safe and media, compartment. So it ranges from $1,400 to $1,600, and that's local, because if we order something online above $16.99, so say $1,400 to $1,700. If we order something online, it's like $500 delivery and setup fee and that kind of thing, so I try to stay local. Same thing with the, fireproof 4-drawer legal filing cabinet, and those range from $13.69 to $16.99.
So you get three estimates, I'm
Yep,
sorry.
I got three. Yep.
That's the supervisor. That's,
Yeah.
Mr. Gilder instructed me to follow protocol, so I'm gonna ask
Correct.
if I can.
Yes, sir.
You've got three estimates.
Yep.
Which one do you like? You have a
I
preference?
don't have a preference, it's just, I just feel that, we have a lot of stuff that, needs to be locked up, fireproof, that's the biggest thing, because nothing in there is fireproof, and there is no safe, so.
So maybe perhaps you could include in your motion to not to exceed whatever the price of that thing is. The one you want.
So what are we gonna go with the 1369?
So we have $13.69 and we have $1,700, that's on the filing cabinet, so, maybe we could go midway.
Not to exceed 3,300? Or do you need more than that? Is that including tax?
We don't pay tax.
I would say if we went 34 to 35, we'd probably be good.
Stan?
Yes, what fund's that coming out of, Nicole?
It's gonna come out of clerk's.
Now, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what the next question is gonna be? Do you have money in that, do you have money in that account?
Yeah, there's money in there for the safe and the filing cabinet.
Mr. Chairman?
Look, I have what account are you taking it out of?
Clerk's
Out of
fund.
clerk's account.
It's a clerk's fund.
I think there was like a 14 something in the clerk's fund, 14,000.
Can't hear.
Mr. Chairman?
Do that, please.
Do we have the dimensions of how tall is the filing cabinet? And this is gonna be right in the clerk's office?
It's in the clerk's room.
It'll be in the locked room.
Yeah, in the locked room.
Okay,
But the concern, like I said, is that there's a lot of documents that, are priceless to this township, and they really need to be in some kind of fire.
yes, of course. How big is the safe? The dimensions, is it a full size? Are we talking 5 foot tall? Are we talking?
Well, the filing cabinet is, 20.9 inches by 31 by 6 by 52 by 8. So it's a 4-drawer legal document
52 high.
Okay.
filing cabinet.
What is the combination? Is it a key? Is it a spin dial? Okay.
It's a key,
Key.
yes.
Okay. And then what about the safe itself?
Safe looks.
What kind of combination?
Here, you want to look?
What is the common?
Yeah, like, is it a,
Most of them are combination key.
okay.
Well,
And how often throughout the day do you think you are gonna be opening and closing this? Is this just a once per day you open it up, you leave it open all day, or do you think you're gonna be closing it and opening it multiple times? The reason I'm asking is because it makes a big difference it could make a big difference on what kind of access combination you put on there.
I don't probably lock it out.
I'm just,
When I'm here, when I'm in, and I'm not in there, my door is locked anyways, when I'm here. And so the only time I would leave it is when I go to lunch.
right,
So-
and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because this is a lot of money we're spending on a safe, but if you're spending all that money, you might as well spend a little bit more on a better combination, just so that just for efficiency purposes. If you have to sit there and spin a dial all day, it'll drive you nuts, okay? I'm just telling you that you go with the push button and you'll be better.
The motion was to not exceed 3,500, is that what it was?
I didn't make the motion on the money, but the 3,500 would be fine.
I think we need to add that into the motion.
So I will resend, add
Okay.
to my motion, can I add to my motion?
You can amend
To,
your motion.
I will amend my
Mr. Gilder,
motion,
I'll
Mr. Gilder, may I amend my motion?
It can be a friendly amendment if whoever seconded it, it goes along with that little addition.
I don't believe anyone seconded it.
Yeah, but John seconded.
Oh, okay, so I would like to amend my motion to purchase a safe and a fireproof filing cabinet for the clerk's office, not to exceed $3,500 from the clerk's budget.
Okay, then I'll amend my support to include the cap.
If we're ready, we'll do a roll call.
Eric,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Stan,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
Shelley, absent, Gary.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed.
A, under new business, planning minutes summary for 2019. This is, I don't believe we need to approve this. This is for documentation. We believe there was questions on what happened last year. This is kind of a summary of what the planning commission dealt with through the year of 19. Page 8. I don't know if anyone has any questions on that. Marie took most of the minutes. I don't believe we need to approve it or make a motion in any manner. Okay, resolution to adopt poverty exemption income guidelines and asset test for 2020, pages 9 through 12. And this was given to me through the assessor's department, and I believe you approve one each year because the wording gets changed. The qualifications may change a little bit, but if you have any questions, you can talk with the assessor.
I'll make the motion to adopt that resolution.
I'll support you.
Okay, and does anyone have any questions for me on that? Or anyone else? No? Okay. I think we'll do a roll call vote on that also.
Okay, Stan,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Cole, yes, Gary,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay, township farm lease, the agreement with Mr. Walden for the township property. The clear one is printed out, plus the one from last year, and Mr. Walden is in agreement with last year's terms. We're trying to get this ahead so he will know that he has the property for this season, as long as the board chooses to pass it. Yeah.
Yeah. Nicole assures me it's the same agreement that it was last year, so having said that, I'll make that motion that we
I'll second.
do the lease agreement.
Support? Oh, you already support?
I think Stan did.
Oh. I didn't hear.
I think it involves some money also, so we will do a roll call vote on that.
Okay, Eric,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Cole, yes, Stan,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
Shelley, absent, Gary.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed.
We'll move on to the trusted agency, to the treasurer's office. This was money donated to the police department. The money is already basically spent out of the police department, so this is going to it, and the account is gonna go down to $5. And we're gonna keep the account open in case there are any future donations. So, I'll make the motion that we transfer this trusted agency money to the police.
Support?
Yeah.
I just have a question. This is just a holding account for donations to the police department?
Correct, Shelley has it as called our trusted agency. She suggested we do this to clear that account up.
Mr. Chairman, who is the donation from?
The last donation was from Mr. Alan Kerr, Eileen's husband.
No, that's not, is that in our budget, like out of the general account? for the
No, it's
library?
actually a separate bank account through a trusted agency.
Okay.
And this involves money, so we'll do a roll call vote on this.
How much is it?
I was just gonna ask that question.
It's $1,200 and some dollars, it's gonna go down to $5, is what Shelley suggests. Just to keep the account.
Oh.
We'll transfer 1,000.
Originally that, I hate to interrupt, but you don't look over here to see if you want to talk, you know.
Stick your hand up, Stan, I'll see your hand.
The, originally it was brought up in regards to establishment, Chief Kenny was here, is to get, cameras for the officers. And, it was spent on, rifle, or,
Yes,
I don't, does that go through the board or not? I don't-
actually, I talked with our police officer that's still here, and he said he didn't have one, that he couldn't go to a scene if there was a shooter, so I don't send people out without tools. Any other questions?
Was that, yes, was that the rifle that we already purchased the rifle?
Yes, we did.
Was that something we already voted on?
No, this actually went through myself and the police officer.
Okay, well, how much was it?
I believe it was $1,200 or $1,100, he had the receipt still out.
Okay. All right, I would like to see that. I mean,
We'll see what we can figure out. I believe it went through the board in the past. I'm
That
not
was
sure
last
exactly
year's,
what month.
Right?
Right,
This
yes.
was last year's.
oh, okay, I just didn't,
Donation. Yeah, so this year's donation, Stan was asking if possibly they could think about a camera, body cam.
right, the rifle was a donation last year?
The money was a donation
Money.
to purchase the rifle.
That's, it was the police department's choice on what they wanted.
What they
Gotcha,
need.
Not
okay.
the board's.
I'm with it, okay, got it.
Yeah?
Sure. But that will show up in the police report, money spent.
Correct.
It'll still show there,
Right.
it's just, he made the choice.
If I want to see the specs of the rifle or see the rifle, I can just go talk to Officer Eccles?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, roll call
Okay, Stan,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
Shelley, absent, Eric,
Yes.
Jenna.
Yes.
Yes, Gary.
vote. Yes.
Okay, motion passed.
Okay, some appointments of previous officers that came up this year. I'll make a motion, we reappoint Mike Fromwell and Ralph Henry to the planning commission.
Health board.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All ayes. And to reappoint Rachel Stanky to Parks and Rec. I'll make that motion.
I'll
Support.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Move on to brief public comments for 3 minutes each.
Me again. I don't know if any of you guys are on social media or anything, but I belong to a few of the Thetford Township sites, resident sites. And I was hearing a lot of negativity, and I was sitting home one night and I did a post, and I'd like to read you the post. It says, okay, I see this negativity on here about the township. Can people say something nice about the township? And I had quite a few people respond. And the majority of the people responded about their neighbors and how they still like their neighbors and how their neighbors are very helpful to them. And that really made me feel good. To actually see all these people saying, you know, nice things about the township. But one thing was brought up, and I misunderstood the lady at first. I think she was getting a little irritated with me. And I actually have checked on this since I talked to her. Genesee and Wilson Road is a very, very dark intersection. And she said that she is, I don't exactly know what she did or who she talked to or anything, but she said that it has been brought up to the township, and I wanted to bring it up to the township board. and maybe give you guys until the next meeting to check it out. But I believe we need a light, a clear corner light to light up that intersection. And like I say, I'll give you guys like 30 days, and you know, I don't know. I mean, I can't say, hey, go out and give me 30 days. I don't want an answer. But I would like an answer at the next meeting on what you guys think about that. If you guys don't believe we need one, and it's maybe too costly for the township, or you know, whatever, I am going to figure out how I can do a petition after that and get township signatures and see if that will help. I'm not threatening in any way, but that isn't, I don't know if any of you guys go down there at night, but that's an extremely dark corner, and it would be nice to be lit up. And I told the lady that I would bring it up at this meeting, and I did, but I still want to say, it just pleased me on how neighbors are still getting along. I grew up here as a kid, and if it wasn't for my neighbor, I'd probably be dead because she was a nurse. and believe it or not, I might have been clumsy. But, you know, and it just brings it back on how helpful a neighbor can be, and how we are still one big family, even if we don't get along on everything. But like we were saying, just keep stuff peaceful. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Eugene. Anyone else?
Hi, as everyone knows, my name is Jeff Harrington with the Herald. In Mr. Winthrop's presentation tonight, you noted having talked to a few specific witnesses. He also alluded to me in his comment as having been, without mentioning my name, of course, as having been the reporter that Bob Kenny is said to have contacted and arranged my presence in the trailer when the Lesso money was found. That contradicts my statement to the Sheriff's Department. I just want that to be on the record. He did not contact me to arrange my presence, and that will be my testimony if it ever comes to that. I do not know what is in the Sheriff's investigative report of my statement to them, because that's never been made available to me, nor has there been any further contact with me by the Sheriff's Department or by Mr. Winthrop, and so I just wanted to make that clear from my standpoint. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. I think we can move on to board member comments. Eric?
Again, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. I know this meeting was not an easy one for anyone, and there was a lot of contention here tonight, just in the subject matter. Thank you, Attorney Gilner. Thank you, Eugene, members of the board. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Eric. Stan?
Yeah, thanks for coming. I'll try to work on my defects in the way I said, so maybe we can have a meeting and tell me how I should say it.
John?
I just have a couple things. First, I do want to thank Mr. Gilner for emailing your activity. That's beautiful. Came in, you know, I got a text, I seen everything you were working on that you forwarded the supervisor, great work. That's beautiful. I do have a slight disagreement with what you said. I'm sure my old Dale Carnegie course would suggest that I should look at the speaker and engage him, and I find that most people would like that, and I don't think that I've ever gave off any disrespect by doing that. So I have to disagree with you on that point, at least for myself. And I think they would prefer that I engage them. So, and then finally, I also seen that post, and it was nice to see 15 posts of positive things of Thetford Township. It was asked, can you post anything good? And sure enough, people start posting things about their neighbors in their area. And then to the other point, as tough a decision that was, that's the purpose of it. We need to move forward in this township and get out this. We need to move this equipment, and we all need to get ahead of this game. And your support, Mr. Gilman, has helped that immensely in providing a more stable environment for that. So I do appreciate that, but I can't have anything else because I already hit my 3 minutes.
Thank you, John. Rachel?
The attorney's got me confused, 'cause I don't know if I'm supposed to look down or look at you guys. And I'm sorry if I'm not, and Eugene, I'm sorry, because I was looking down as you were saying, if the board would be respectable, and I'm down here looking down, so I do apologize, and I do try to give you guys, I try to look at you guys, but I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking to the board now, I'm just like a mess. So, that being said, just a reminder, the State of the Union is on tonight. Second reminder, Clio Schools is looking at a bond, so look into that, get your information before it goes on the ballot in May. So, other than that, I'm really happy with our meeting and how it went. And our special meeting, I'm a little hurt, it was a tough one. And I hope you guys all have a safe night home, and I'll see you next month.
Thank you, Rachel. Nicole?
Same thing with me. I can assure you I'm writing. I'm really writing. So I will try and make as much eye contact as I can, but having all this information is pretty pertinent, as everybody knows. So I do appreciate everybody's support and saying the agreeing with me that the township doesn't need a safe. We do need a fireproof file cabinet. We do have some sensitive documentation in this regarding this township and all the years it's been here. And it's just a lot off me to know that it's gonna be well preserved, taken care of before that ever happens. So, tonight was a tough one, but I think that, I am in agreement that we have to move forward, and I appreciate everybody coming out, and I appreciate having Attorney Gilman here. Other than that, I hope everybody has a good night.
Thank you, Nicole. I also thank Mr. Gilner. That's why we moved the meetings to Tuesday, the first Tuesday of each month, so that he could be here to improve the meetings of this township. There's a lot of bad blood both ways, and hopefully we can correct it, move on. And I did go to Wilson and Genesee Road. There's not a pole close enough on the corner, but we'll see what we can do to get Consumers Power or the road commission or someone to light up some of these dangerous corners.
Thank you.
Yeah, that does.
And I'd like everyone to have a good, safe trip home. Thank you.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.